In this lecture, we're going to handle the upload if it fails or succeeds. We're going to change the properties in each upload we pushed into the uploads array. In the upload function, we listened to the state changed event. We can pass in three functions to handle different situations. The first function is for handling the progress of the upload. We'll work on adding the other two functions for handling the error and success of the upload. We'll pass in two additional arrow functions to the event listener. The two additional functions are optional. If they're passed in, Firebase will call them based on if the upload was successful or not. The second function will be used for errors. It can have one parameter called error. The third function will be called if the upload was a success. There aren't any parameters we can add. That's perfectly fine. The task object stores a copy of the current snapshot. It's the same snapshot object passed into the first function. It'll provide us with information about the upload. We're going to start things off by handling the error. There are many ways we can approach this, but I want to keep it fairly simple. We can begin to change the values in the functions we created earlier. Scroll down to the second function we passed into the event. This is the function that will get called if there's an error with the upload. We'll want to change a lot of the values stored in the object related to the upload that got an error. First, we'll want to change the variant property to bgred400. We're using the upload index variable to get the correct object that received an error. We're changing the variant to danger because that will give us a red color. Next, we'll want to change the icon. The name of the icon we'll want to use is called FAS-FA Times. This set of classes will give us an X icon. If you're curious about where I'm getting these names, you can go to the Font Awesome site and click on the Icons menu link. You can filter the results on the right. I recommend using the free filter if you plan on using the free version. I found the icon by typing error, which gave me the times icon. On the individual icon page, there will be an example on how to use the icon. Font Awesome's simplicity is what makes it a favorable icon set for your applications. Back in the editor, we're going to change the color of the text next. Update the text class property to TextRed400. The TextRed400 class will change the text color to red. It's another way we can indicate an error has occurred. The very last thing we're going to do is log the error object. We're not going to use the error object, but it is worth checking out what we get. Before we can test the error, we'll first need to make it easy for an error to be thrown. We'll navigate to the Firebase console in another tab. We'll want to modify the storage service rules. One of the conditions we created will limit the maximum upload size. We'll change this to set the upload limit to 1 megabyte. Firebase will throw an error if the file size is bigger than 1 megabyte. In our application, upload an MP3 file that exceeds the file limit. After a while, Firebase will throw an error. Our second function will run, which will change the progress bar completely. This is the exact behavior we were hoping to achieve. Open the console in the developer tools. We logged the error object in the function. Upon inspecting it, we are provided with a couple of values. We're even provided a basic error message we could use on the front end. Just in case you wanted to create your own message, you could use the code they provided. The code property will tell you exactly what went wrong. We can take the UI a step further by checking the error code and displaying an appropriate message to the user. In the resource section of this lecture, I provide a link to the list of error codes you can receive. There are a lot of reasons as to why an upload may fail. We won't be going as far as to check for every error. We'll just change the look and feel of the progress bar. That'll take care of the error. I want to begin changing the UI if the upload was a success. It'll be a very similar process to the error. Before we do that, we'll want to revert the rules. In the Firebase console, set the maximum limit to 10 megabytes. Be sure to publish the changes for them to take effect. Switch back to the editor. We're going to copy the properties we created in the second function and paste them over into the third function. The third function is called when the upload is a success. We'll want to change the same properties we did in the second function, but with different values. We'll set the variant property to bggreen400. That'll change the progress bar to green. The icon will be set to FAS/FA check. That'll give us a check mark. An icon is usually associated with success. The text class property should be set to textgreen400. That'll change the text color to green. We'll leave the animate property to false. The reason is the same as before. By stopping the animation, the user will acknowledge the upload is no longer in progress. Let's give things a test. Go ahead with uploading a file. The upload was a success. It's been indicated by the change in UI. We are now able to change the UI based on if the upload was a success or failure. We were able to do this by creating properties representing the current status of the upload, binding those properties to the template, and then changing those properties in the appropriate functions. We've completed the task for this lecture.